Oh my god, dude.
Yes!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yes!
What did you really just do?
Yeah!
You're nuts.
How did I win?
You're
How did I
nuts.
win?
Let's go!
No, brother.
Let's go! I'm running around the house! I'm running around the house! I'm too good! Keep it!
Good calls, good bravery.
Whoa!
I'm so mad.
Back up. Play safe.
Oh no, Rudy!
Am I muted? Okay.
Oh no, Rudy!
I'm sending LOL GG. And I'm blocking him.
Rudy, the gas station!
Look at this thing on him! This thing on him!
Wait.
All right, welcome to the Quackdown, episode 6. I'm Tyler,
This is Rudy.
I'm Fernando.
and let's get right into it. I'm not going to ask if anyone has anything mean to say, because I might have something mean to say. Let's check in on our progress on the deal that Fernando and I have made. How much progress have you made before I say my progress?
Oh, well, I guess you weren't downstairs when we talked about it. I haven't made any progress just because I want to pay attention to the show, and I've just been like a little busy at home, so I haven't had enough time to like really just sit down and pay attention. But like the other night, I was really trying to crane through at least a couple episodes, so I have something to say about it. And then in the first episode, it gets
Of which show?
Bly. It gets to a part that I can tell is gonna be scary, and I go, nope. I know it's already dark out. I know I can't watch this. I'm not gonna sleep. So
I even told you to watch Usher first, because it's less terrifying.
I watched one episode.
but we could watch. I'd rather watch Bly first because Rudy hasn't finished Usher, and then we could all talk about Usher together.
That's fair.
For like the first time. So like, I am gonna this next week. I am gonna try and crank out Bly. And possibly Usher, just because I know I need to watch it, and I'd rather just get it over with as soon as I can than later.
That's fair. So, my progress. I have made it through almost 2 seasons.
Oh my god.
Oh, really?
In a week, yeah.
Oh, yeah, because
yeah,
you learned what's his name is in season 2.
Yeah, I'm more I'm more than halfway through the 2nd season. That's why I say almost 2 seasons.
You're really?
I told you
Wow.
I could bust through this shit real quick. That's why I was like, cool. Fernando's going to have Usher done. Rudy will have Usher done. We'll get to talk about this briefly.
We've done nothing.
Done nothing. No
I
homework has been
should.
done.
I can get through. Bly
Sounds
and
familiar.
Usher.
No, it doesn't. Does not sound familiar. Yeah, so first season, solid 8, maybe 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
It's not perfect.
Yes.
It is not
Well,
no first season of any show is.
Right.
There's a lot that I love. There's also a lot that is very cheesy.
Yeah.
And I've come to the conclusion that the best way to describe this show is Marvel's CSI, like Miami.
Yes.
That's kind of the impression
Yeah.
I got with the whole
Because-
Well, that's always how I
like-
described it too. It's basically like your average cop show.
Yep.
Because
That's-
like there's a new thing every
Yeah.
episode.
It
But
feels
they have
like
an overarching.
it makes me
storyline.
understand why you like The Mandalorian so much, because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Like the
Ma-
same formula.
The Mandalorian, at least season 1, it was whatever. Now it's like new monster, new monster, new monster, new problem, new
Yeah.
problem, new problem. Oh, and then the last 2 episodes, the main problem.
Right.
And that's kind of how it felt here, but it still was like in Mandalorian, you don't see the main problem for like 75% of the season, and then it's
Yeah.
like, boom, here it is at the end of the show, and you're like, oh, so all these episodes meant nothing.
Does the main problem like get resolved in those 2 episodes?
Oh,
or does
usually,
it,
yeah.
Or does it play out throughout the whole series?
It almost always gets resolved
Okay.
temporarily,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then that main problem comes back bigger the next time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
They really haven't moved away from Death Star destroyed, Death Star 2.
Yeah.
That has been
Yeah.
their thing forever. But like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at least,
Oh, that's what I was referring to. Sorry.
yeah. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's like, a couple different problems here. They're all kind of related to the main problem, so it doesn't feel like as much of a departure from like the issue that's happening in that season.
Okay.
And then, of course, like, the back the last 4 episodes of every season are like entirely just the main problem. But it's good. The acting is pretty good. There's a couple real cheesy lines, and I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I was like, oh, okay. Who wrote that? Get out of here. But then, like, the rest of the show, like, it's bloody. It is very gory. Like,
Really?
extremely gory. And, like, well, like, I say extremely for, like, A, Marvel, and B, TV, and C, that it was on ABC, which is Disney.
Wow. Yeah.
They're, like, cutting people open. People are getting, like, arms chopped off, heads chopped off, blood everywhere. They're getting shot. They're dying in a pool of blood. It's crazy. But they also set up a lot of, like, in the first season, and I don't know how much this plays out throughout the rest of the show yet, but there are so many people that die temporarily, and then they're just like, Coulson is one of them.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Who?
I know she eventually becomes powerful because of. I know that. I've had that spoiled for me.
Who? What?
Your favorite girl on the show.
Oh, the girl that they Sky?
Yeah, Sky.
Okay.
Yeah. I know she eventually becomes a superhuman, but she gets shot twice. And you
already made it to that part? Yeah.
Yeah, and you think, "Oh, what do you mean? That's in season 1."
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Cuz
The whole thing is a blur to him.
It is.
I
It's
forget-
all one huge story.
I kind of forget who. No, I remember who shoots her. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the guy you think is the main villain, and then it ends up not being him.
Correct.
But they bring her back to life. Every time there's so many.
She doesn't die.
There's so many instances of either like a cliffhanger episode or like a cliffhanger commercial break, because you know it does those like
it blats out.
it'll be like
and
dun 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 and then black.
Yeah.
But there's so many times when like somebody gets shot or stabbed in a way that you're like, oh, they're dead.
Right.
And then before the commercial break or before the episode end, you're like, they're definitely dead. Like you're looking at them, they're not breathing. People look worried, whatever. And then it comes back from the commercial break and it's like, hey, they're pretty good. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, she got shot twice, and now you're like, yeah, she's gonna pull it out. Like she's gonna make it out of here, A-okay.
Oh my god.
And it happens a lot.
I have so many. It does.
It happens a lot.
Yeah.
And I get it. 22 episodes, like
A season.
You can't be killing off characters left and right.
Yeah.
You need them that whole time. But like the biggest example of that, the end of season 1, when Fitzsimmons is in the crate at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Those
like,
are 2 different people, by the way.
yeah. It's Fitz and Simmons, but they just call him Fitzsimmons.
Yeah.
They're funny. They're real
like that.
funny.
They're
a lot of the
they're
times
great.
comedy relief. I have
They're
a little bit of an
great.
issue with how they're.
Who?
Well, hang on.
Why?
Hang on.
Where?
Whoa. But so the 2 people, they're trapped at the bottom of the ocean.
Uh-huh.
Only one of them can like escape and live, and that's how they set it up. Is like
Right.
only one of them. So like one of the guys professes like his love, and then is like, "All right, you take the oxygen," and then boom, it explodes, and you're like, "Oh my god, he just sacrificed himself. That's crazy." And then like he's fine. He's not fine, but like he's fine.
He's not
He's
fine
alive.
at all.
No,
really.
he like he gets like head trauma and stuff,
Mm.
and then like can't finish his sentences, but like his brain's still working, but he just can't finish his sentences.
Yeah.
But
No,
that
you're right. You're right. But that's also very important because
It
he's one of
is.
the smartest people,
Yeah, no, he's
like in Marvel.
yeah, he gets delayed by this head trauma. But
Yes.
what I'm saying is there's this huge emotional moment where I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to lose this character. I really, really like this character, and they're going to kill him. And then commercial break back, and they're like, he's going to make it out. I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
You ruined the moment.
I'm like, I get it.
No, that's a big important moment still.
It's still important. It's how quickly they resolved him being okay is the only issue I've.
He's not okay. He just
I
lives.
get no. That's what I'm
He's
saying.
not okay.
That he doesn't die
Yeah.
because
they don't dwell on it a little bit longer. is
no,
what you're
and they
saying.
should.
Right. Right.
It should have been like, oh, is he gonna make it? And maybe not even get resolved till the next episode.
Right.
Like, just kind of leave him teetering in the balance. That's the only thing. And I think it's because I'm binging it that I'm realizing this is an issue, and it wouldn't have been an issue if I had been watching it
weekly
when
as
it comes
came
out
with
and
commercials.
stuff. Yeah.
which I don't think I could have done with the show.
No.
No, I would have lost interest so fast.
Well, I don't know.
How
if you
many
would've-
seasons?
Well,
7.
7.
Crazy to me.
I think there's like it's only like 110 episodes, 118, something like that. Because it's like 20 episodes a season, 22
Well, it's
episodes.
22 episodes a season for 5 seasons.
And then
and
they,
then,
do,
that's a-
they do the split.
That's 110. And
that's
then,
just for the 5 seasons. And then there's another 22, 25
so like 135.
for the last 2
135
last 2
episodes.
seasons.
It's not bad, but like there are a few filler episodes in season 1.
You're wrong.
I don't think so.
You're wrong.
There's been a couple, and I don't say
You learn stuff. You learn big things
I get
in
that.
every single episode.
You
That's not filler.
you think filler is like pointless episodes. That's when I say filler, I just mean like character development. Like they're there to get you to bond more. It like
Yeah, but that's not the first time you watch it. That's not filler.
it's not. But like going
Because
back
most,
and
especially in Agents of Shield, when you learn certain things about certain characters, that turns out to be
I guess filler's the wrong word then. More
Prominal.
like
to their character.
I'd change the wording and say plot filling. Not
In a
filler.
sense,
it's
yeah.
just it's kind of like
They're building up characters
Yeah,
so that you care about them more.
character developing episodes. There's a lot of those in season 1, which makes sense because
Yeah.
there's a lot of characters. You got to get to know all
That's
of
the
them.
first season.
Yeah.
All in all, so far, I would say watch it if you haven't seen it. Because
Yes.
like even like you really don't need to watch. You do need to know a little bit about Marvel because they
Just a tad.
Well, like the show premiered during what phase?
it came out the
Was
first
it after
episode.
Avengers?
The first episode takes place right after Iron Man 3.
Yes.
And
Oh,
then the
yes.
Dark World happens after Iron Man 3, but like about halfway through season 1. And then the end of season 1 is Winter Soldier.
And they're referencing these events?
Oh, heavily.
Yes.
Heavily.
wow.
yes.
Okay.
Like,
It's just for you to like plug in where they're at in the
Timeline-wise?
timeline. Yes.
Gotcha.
so like, and I think that, I know that eventually goes away because I read all the articles about them being
It
like,
goes away way later.
yeah, but they're like, I think it's right when Infinity War happens, and then they're
Yes.
like, Marvel movies didn't tell Marvel TV what was going to happen to avoid
Oh.
leaks,
Right. And,
And
they
s-
didn't want to wait.
and so they just
Yeah.
decided
To do their own thing.
we're our own thing now.
Yeah, but that's
I'ma
only
do
for
my own
like
thing.
the last.
Yeah.
That's only for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would say at this point, I recommend watching it because at its worst, it's really good. Like, there's a couple you can watch it while doing other things.
Yeah.
I've found that like cooking, cleaning, whatever
You really
it is.
just have to listen to dialogue.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, there's
And-
really cool fight scenes and stuff, but like it's mainly just like
Yeah.
paying attention to the story that's happening.
So like when we talk about like, oh my God, there's so many episodes, so many seasons, whatever. You don't have to sit there and lock in
Right.
the whole time
Yeah.
to understand the story, to like the characters.
Yeah.
I think it's a good show. I think especially if you like the cop drama stuff,
Yes.
it's good. If you like superhero stuff, it's good. You have to like
You-
treat it as its own thing.
You
though.
also did a very big insight to what Shield truly is.
Yeah.
And
I think it's dope, and I think the acting's really, really good. The amount,
It's crazy how you're freaking out about it and you're only 2 seasons in, which is
freaking out about what?
about how many actors are in it.
Yeah. So there are. Okay, so like just background reference. I think we went over this a little bit.
Yeah, we did.
The amount of times that Fernando would like, we'd be watching a movie and be like, "Oh, y'all are gonna hate me," but
Watching
he's in Agents of Shield, or
watching
they're
a
in
movie,
Agents of Shield.
a show that we all
It's
watch,
every 2
literally
seconds.
anything, and I go, hey,
Yeah.
by the way.
And it could be, and I found this out because it's literally like there's one character that appears in one episode that I remember, and they have done nothing else since or in between But Amazon did this thing where they let people vote on which show would get funded. So they let everybody do like a pilot, and they funded the pilot. But then they said, our customers are going to vote and see what we want best. So they did a Zombieland reboot where all the characters were recast. So no Jesse Eisenberg, no Woody Harrelson. It was a bad idea from the start.
Yeah.
But Emma Stone's character got recasted to this actress. I don't know her name, but she's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
You know the chick in the 100, Maya, that Jasper.
Yeah.
She's in Agents of
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
Fuck's sake. Twisters, the new Twister sequel that's coming out.
Yeah.
So the original Twister, Bill
Paxton.
he's in it.
Yeah.
He's a big role,
Yeah.
huge role.
And
In the first season.
What
Patton
always, like,
Oswalt's
kinda-
in it like 80 times.
Yeah.
what always kind of
He's in it continuing as well.
what always bugged me is like I am assuming like you're always just like, oh, he's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I imagine like they had to have just been in like a one-off episode.
Well, no,
Nah,
a
there
couple
are
of
I'm
them.
like,
some-
how do you remember all of them?
There are some that are in one-off episodes, but a lot of them are
They're really
show up every now and again. Yeah.
And-
really.
And that's kind of what even makes it feel more like CSI and stuff like that, or like Law and Order, because there are like big actors and actresses that go
Yes.
on there for like a 1-2 episode arc.
Have you met the
Law and Order would do that a
the
lot.
therapist from what's that show on Apple that we can't wait till season 2 comes out?
Severance?
You remember the therapist from Severance?
Is it his
The lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
the one that gets revealed as something later on?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Have you seen her yet?
No.
She's here.
Oh, wait.
She's
here.
there. She's there. She's in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh my god. Oh well, you mentioned.
You might not have seen her yet, but
yeah.
she ends up being a decently big character.
Do you know what premiered 10 years ago this week? And
Oh,
it feels
yes.
impossible.
Yes.
I do not.
Say it.
What?
Say it.
2014. 10 years ago.
On the topic of Marvel.
Is it no, cuz Iron Man was 2023 or 2013, 2014.
It's in your
Was
top.
it
It's
Iron
in your
Man
top 3.
2008 or something?
I know Guardians of the Galaxy is 10 years this year. It's in my top 3. Is it it's not Age of Ultron, is it?
No. I think it's in your top 3. I could have sworn it's in your top 3.
Oh, The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been 10 years. That blows my mind. It has not felt like 10 years.
You know what's crazy? Is that marks the 10-year anniversary of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too.
Should we watch it?
Is that when it came out?
Yeah, because Winter Soldier happened around the season finale of season 1.
Which makes sense.
Yeah, so because
Wow.
it starts. Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show.
It's really good.
I still, I don't see why he's rewatched it so much, and maybe that'll change. And I get it.
It's like a personal thing.
Especially once you're through
Yeah.
it once, I can get that it becomes a comfort show.
100%.
Like it's like The Office. It's like all this stuff.
Well,
it's just
How
easy to
Met Your
sit
Mother.
down, watch.
From-
How I Met Your Mother.
From how
Frasier.
much at least
Frasier.
I got wrapped up in the characters and how much I love all the characters. What I like rewatching about the show is since you've already watched it once, you know where it ends up, and seeing them like build all this development between the interrelationships between all the characters too. I love rewatching that because you see the progress go through all these people and you know where they end up, and you go and like rewatching it, you go like, oh well, this is the part that like really connected them, and
Yeah.
then like it's so good. I love that show so much.
I just realized I want to try something now that we have the headphones on, especially. Hello, Seattle. This is KACL 780. I'm listening. That felt really cool.
He sat there with that since we said
I
Frasier.
did. You saw the smile.
And I knew that was what was going through his head because I was like, because there's been a couple times where I've been listening to this. He has a really good radio voice sometimes when he can just like match the tone and get really deep. But I can't do it because it sounds ridiculous when I do it. It sounds creepy when I do it, but when he does it, it's radio voice.
On here?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the biggest time I notice is, the ad that we roll for you in the middle of every episode. Yeah. That right there, I'm like,
Thanks.
yeah. No, I finally got to the part where my favorite guy, my all-time ragtime gal, is in it, the Twin Peaks cop.
You did say.
And
say that.
he's pretty good.
Since you're only like halfway through season 2, I think it happens at the end. But
Spoilers?
I don't really want to spoil it for him because like he sent me a text. He goes, "I thought you told me the Twin Peaks guy was a good guy," and I go, "Watch the damn show. Just watch the show."
It's like we're watching Warrior. What did I? Oh, he's gonna lose his job, right? This can't be safe for school grounds. And you were just like, just
wait. What's his name is in it for a very small portion. The dude from Silicon Valley, Jin Yang from Silicon Valley.
I could see that.
You didn't see him?
He hasn't. Oh no, then not yet.
Oh,
apparently.
you missed it. No, you missed it.
He's in season 1.
Yeah, the fire guy. Remember when you see the fire guy on the street doing like magic?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? Yeah, the fire guy who names himself Torch or whatever.
Is he like, this is like early before he becomes all?
Yeah, the first time you see him.
Really?
When he's doing magic on the street.
How did I miss
that? And then
that?
the flower girl walks up to him and is like,
"How did I miss that?
How did you miss that?" Because they zoom in on him because I think they're in China or something like that, and he's going like, "Oh man, this guy's crazy" or something. That's Jin Yang. You've already seen him.
All right, well, I missed him.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Maybe you're
So
just
he's in
doing
the show.
something in the background.
Oh yeah, if you weren't watching, yeah, you definitely missed him.
I did. I know I only watched one more episode of Usher, but you mentioned in the last episode the lemon monologue.
Hilarious,
Dude. It went on for way longer than I thought it was gonna go.
It's so fucking ridiculous.
But like he's saying it with like in all seriousness.
Yeah, no.
And at the very end of the monologue, it cuts to the dude he's telling the story to, and he's just like, he's just got this look on his
so
face.
confused, dude. He's so like
All seriousness.
so just like,
Yeah, exactly. Just like what?
and that's how I feel like he looked at the end of the Midnight Mass monologues. He's just like,
Well, what that
What?
kind of reminds me of, in a very small way, is when they introduced Coulson in the first in the first episode. They're talking to Ward,
yeah,
and they're like, "Yep, and Coulson also has this team and stuff," and he's like, very funny. I'm level 6 or 7. He's like, I know Coulson died in the Battle of New York and stuff like that. And he steps out from this dark corner of the room and he goes, "Welcome to level 7. And Ward's like, "What the hell?" And he's like, "Sorry, I couldn't help myself. I think there's a light out in the corner."
he's
Coulson, I love.
He's a good actor. He's a good
Clark
actor.
Gregg in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He's there for serious parts. He's there for comedic relief.
They're announcing Comic-Con guests right now. If he's announced, would you go?
I might have to go just to have the chance of meeting him.
You could shake his hand and just be like,
That's all I would want.
That
I would
could be
like,
his birthday present.
I would
from
be
us.
like, you have no idea how important you are to me through Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because, like, you develop so much respect for Coulson. Because, like, he's just like in the MCU and just the movies, he's
just
a
a fanboy.
character
Right.
that gets thrown
Yeah.
in every now and again. Dude.
He's the comedic relief that plays
well,
it straight.
You saw at the end of season 1, right, when Fury shows up, and Coulson learns how he got brought back.
Yeah.
And he's so mad at Fury because he was in charge of
Bringing him back.
the like, what is it called? The like
Tahiti.
team of of how they bring people back.
Mhm.
And I love this line. He goes, "That was meant to bring back a fallen Avenger," and Fury goes, "Exactly."
damn.
And he's like, "That's why I brought you back, and I'm so glad I did it." And Coulson goes, "I'm that important?" He's like- It's so good, dude. I love Coulson.
The way Fury shows up is so
hilarious.
fucking funny. We're talking about, the two people trapped in the box. They both come up to the water.
Yeah.
Middle of the fucking ocean.
Yeah.
Middle of nowhere. The whole time, everybody else has been like, we don't know where their tracker is. We don't know where they are. They could be anywhere. Their tracker stopped right here in the middle of the ocean. We don't know. They're like floating in the water. Again, middle of the ocean.
Well, they explain why they find him, how
I
they
get
find
it.
him.
I get it. But in the moment,
It's not enough.
you don't hear a single peep until you look up and there's a helicopter and it's Fury
Yeah.
and he's reaching his hand out.
Are you serious?
Yes.
And
Yes, dude.
all you see is the hand grab and then it goes, it cuts to black. And I'm like, how did he find him?
Yeah. And that is immediately right after Winter Soldier, too.
Yeah.
Because even they go,
Fury's
we
dead.
heard that you were dead. And he goes,
Yep.
I want that to spread around. He goes, keep that.
Well, there's a whole episode when they all find out Fury's dead and they're all just kind of like mourning for an episode.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So like, yeah. All in all, good show. We'll talk about it more as I progress
Yes.
through it. I'm sure when we record our next episode,
Have some more updates.
I'll probably be done with it.
That's crazy.
And I should be done with Bly and
Wow.
Usher.
What was the other one I told you to watch?
I thought it was just Bly and Usher.
No, it was season 2 of Castle Rock.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Because I think I finished season 1. Or
That
was
you should
very
watch,
close
too.
to finishing season 1.
It's good.
Add it to the list.
It's decent. It's just a little spooky. Just a little bit. Because what's his name is in it?
Pennywise.
Isn't this? Yeah, the Skarsgård is in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Those Skarsgårds are talented
Mm-hmm.
because one of
100%.
them plays like he's like an antagonist in Succession. He's really good. Adrian Brody's in Succession too.
Really?
Yeah, for a
Really?
I
couple
love that guy.
episodes.
That guy is so good.
I'm
Dude,
trying to think who else.
I'll
fucking-
never forget his performance in The Pianist.
It's really good.
It's
He's in another show that I talked to y'all about, Chapelwaith.
Mm.
It's the Salem's Lot prequel, which Salem's Lot is what Midnight Mass was based on, or what inspired him to make Midnight Mass.
Uh-huh.
And it's the one that I told you, I'm like, this show is, I can't look at it sometimes. There's a part where he thinks there's a worm inside his nose, so he takes
stop.
his nose and he
Stop.
goes,
No, no,
and he's
no.
like cutting into his nose so he can pull.
Ah, dude,
yeah.
stop.
Ah.
There's a scene in District 9 where he's in the
Oh, yeah.
bathroom and his like fingernails are like just peeling off.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I remember watching that at home and I hit the pause button and I stepped outside. I'm like, yo, that was
aren't
gross.
they supposed to make a sequel of that soon?
Chapelwaith?
No,
District 9.
Didn't
That sounds
they-
familiar.
didn't
They're
they,
making District 10
It's a series or a movie?
movie.
It's just a sequel
Because
to
it sounds
District 9.
familiar.
They've been
In
trying to get
talks
it
for a
made
while, right?
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because who
Because
directed that movie?
people like that movie.
Neil Blomkamp.
Or I guess what else did he do? Because I know he's got other things under his belt.
9. That I think he
Oh,
did
the
that
ani-
puppet movie. Let's use
Wasn't
this
that
for the
Tim
first
Burton?
time. No, God no.
Or maybe it just looked like something Tim Burton would do.
Because I think ever since that movie came out, they've been trying to make the sequel. But it's just been,
It was a good movie.
like you said, the director's been busy
Oh.
and stuff like that. So they just haven't had the time to like really lock down of like, this is when we're doing it. I also like the actor in that movie,
Uh-oh.
the main guy who turns, well, you know.
Oh, he did Chappie
Oh, really?
and Elysium,
Oh.
I never
Oh,
saw
so
Elysium.
he does
And
all that type of stuff.
Gran Turismo.
Oh, weird.
Really?
What?
From
Yeah.
those three movies to Gran Turismo
I
is
think-
crazy.
I'm pretty sure Gran Turismo is like
I
what
love Gran Turismo.
he's got, what he had to do for Sony to make District 10. But I don't know. I don't even know if he's making District 10 anymore.
Dude, Gran Turismo. I don't know if it's on my list.
I don't think it's. I don't think.
I
It's on the
might
list.
have
No,
taken
I
it off just because, like,
I thought it was on there.
I think I definitely put it on there, but I might have moved it for something else just
Mm.
because it has, what's it called? The 24-hour rate, the Le Mans, the 24-hour of Le Mans,
Oh yeah.
because Ford versus Ferrari is all about that, and they also have that in Gran Turismo. But oh, dude, I love Gran Turismo Orlando Bloom is really great in that.
And he doesn't show up
He's
in
in
a
it?
lot these days.
I have not seen
Yeah.
that man in forever.
He's
He was in Pirates of the Caribbean 5.
He's a pretty main character.
I
Yeah,
stopped
he
that
was
too.
at the very
You
end.
haven't seen the third Pirates of the Caribbean.
No, I stopped it too. And I haven't seen the first 2 movies since they came out. If I watched them, the first 2 now, it would be like watching for the first time.
Watching all of them,
And I have to watch them
back to
all before
back.
we go see Hans Zimmer.
watching those movies back to back are really cool too, because they
Which-
do
all of
all
The first three.
Yeah.
three.
No, I like
'cause
I still
which
like
one
the last
sucked?
2.
4
4 is just, it felt meaningless.
and then 5
Which one's 4?
was better.
What are they-
Blackbeard. Which I really like
Oh.
Blackbeard in that movie, but it just felt like, honestly, what it is 4 is like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Okay.
It's not bad by any means.
but not needed.
But compared
For
to
the,
the first 3?
for
the first 3
super
are the best.
overall storyline of Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's-
4 is kind of just thrown in there.
And even 5 to a sense, like,
Well, yes and no, because you did a lot of wrap up of a lot of different storylines that happened in the previous movies.
I will say the only one that I really disliked is 5.
Really,
Yeah, I went to see an early screening of that.
you see
And-
basically the origin story of Captain Jack.
I get that. I read when I was in elementary school. I read all the young Jack Sparrow books, so that's been my head.
That was a thing?
Yeah, they're really. I really enjoyed them. They were like Percy Jackson, but for Jack Sparrow.
Huh.
And it was pretty good. Like Cortez, like he fights the ghost of Cortez or something like that. That's pretty cool. So that's my headcanon for his.
Oh, I
Because
see.
also like the uncanny valley of seeing Jack Sparrow CGI'd onto a
A
young
younger person, yeah.
look-alike Jack Sparrow. Oh, I hate that.
They
I
didn't-
hate
They
it's
didn't
like
do it like Captain America.
in a sense,
Like
no,
before he
and
was
even
bulky.
that
but
looks
like
a little
they
weird.
also de-aged
Yeah.
Mm.
him to put him on the young
Yeah.
guy. It is a little weird.
You know what
but
it looks like? Is it looks like Princess Leia at the end of Rogue One.
At the-
Because she
oh,
looks
that's
a
right, that's right, that's right, that's right.
little. It's like realistic, but then you're like, this is lifeless.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. But the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean, it has some fun shots, like the house being pulled through the city. I think that's a fun sequence. I think the biggest issue is they made Jack too drunk. Like,
in the later movies.
yeah. Because, like, in the 4th movie, he's still competent,
Oh, I
but,
see
like,
what
in
you're
the 5th
saying.
movie, he's just a drunk. Like, 1 through
Hmm.
4, he's a drunk, but he's also really fucking clever. And then in the 5th one, he's drunk and lucky. That's what it feels like.
Mm.
Yeah, but that's the essence of Jack Sparrow.
I get that, but, like,
Is
you
that,
go
like-
back to the first movie and you see him,
He
like,
was just a bit more methodical.
yeah, you see him, like, swindle, like, confuse the hell out of those 2 guards. And then they're
Oh,
just talking forever.
yeah.
And he's really, I mean, he's Swift. That's like, he
Yeah.
has the thing on the tattoo that's Swift. And that's who he is. He's an idiot sometimes. He's a drunk sometimes, but he's still like very clever. And that's still kind of played upon in like the second one. And then he kind of becomes more of an idiot in the third one a little bit at some points.
Well,
but
that's he loses like his way.
I
in
get
a
it.
sense.
But like, you got to watch the 5th one and the first one. Like,
I just not too long ago I just watched all of them.
I just,
You didn't see any contrast in between the
Well,
two.
there's definitely
Can we-
when he talks about his cleverness, it's not intentional. He's not trying to be intentionally clever in the last 2, but like that's his essence. That's why he's known throughout the pirate people, is that he's just a dude that somehow gets his way in almost every situation.
I will say, and spoilers, whoever cares, but end of the 5th one has one of the dumbest death scenes of any character.
Who?
Barbossa.
That it is very cheesy,
It's so cheesy.
but like it still holds weight.
I felt nothing watching that.
Really?
I was like, you're going to kill him off in that way. Jeffrey Rush is easily the person in all the movies that you can tell is having the most fun.
He definitely didn't have to die
No.
in that
And that's why.
sequence.
Like anytime somebody doesn't need to die, but they're like, I'm gonna sacrifice myself anyway. I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
There's no logic there. And
Because
Because you
Barbosa,
also learn something in that same moment, which you kind of already
knew,
did
and
hints
it's-
of. But like
I think
I can see that.
that movie just sets up so much, and I know because it bombed, it will never get a good payoff, and that's why that all pisses me off.
Well, okay, since I've never seen the end credit scene,
Oh,
it
yeah.
is a wrap up to the movies. Unless you watch the end credit scene and then you go, "Oh, there's more." But if you don't watch the end credit scene, it just ends.
yeah, but the end credit scene is still there.
I
And they set up that there's
completely
another
understand that.
Barbosa out there. They set up.
That's also like the final season of Scrubs, though. We know it's there, but
What
we
f-
don't acknowledge it's there.
What are you talking about?
Scrubs, like how
Yeah.
we don't. You did you actually watch the final season?
No, I love season 8.
The one without JD. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay, yeah. See, he gets it. Why can't you do that for the ending scene then, the post-credit scene?
Because I saw it and I got excited about it.
Oh,
I didn't see the last season of Scrubs and go, give me more. I was like, all right, we're good. Cool. Keep it.
and now it's just
Well-
being rebooted. You saw that, right?
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
That's official news. Look it
No,
up.
it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, they need to stop. They need to stop.
It's getting rebooted. That just came out this past week.
This can't be true. I don't see it. Where did you see it?
On Google.
I'm looking on Google right now.
What'd you type in?
Scrubs.
Not Scrubs. I'm
Can't
talking about
just type in
Pirates.
Scrubs.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
How
I
do
heard
we
about
get
that.
to? You cannot.
You
we're-
definitely didn't specify that it
yeah,
was Pirates.
we were just talking about Pirates, and then like we kind of teed in Scrubs, but then we went back to Pirates, and you're like, it's getting rebooted, right?
Oh, well, we left off on
I heard
Pirates,
about,
so
I
I
heard
thought it
about
made
the
sense.
Pirates reboot.
Yeah.
But I
Well, I know they're doing.
didn't they scrap that though?
No, they're doing something new with it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure it's still, it's less of a reboot, more of a spinoff, because they don't know where Johnny Depp lands right now with everybody. So
By everybody, you mean just like Disney?
the world, because he is like, to me, in that relationship, they were both abusive. They were both shitty people to each other, and they should have been broken up long ago.
I did that, but from what I got through that whole trial thing is that everybody is on Johnny's side. That's what I
just let
that's
it-
what I saw.
I think the biggest thing that like social media did with that is they omitted a lot of what Johnny Depp did to Amber Heard. And once you go and like read through the transcripts, look at the footage, listen to the audio, you go,
Well, nobody exonerated Johnny Depp.
That's
but
what I'm
they
saying.
They just understood that like, oh, Amber Heard.
because
I get they're both at fault,
to put
but
it in
they
perspective.
more people were definitely on Johnny's side. Again, not going like, oh, he's the true victim or this and that. They were just like,
I saw a lot of the
I
true
did-
victim stuff. I saw a lot
Oh,
of that.
really?
Where it was like, oh, Amber Heard just made up all this stuff, yada, yada, yada. Like, she didn't make up any of it. There were like some details there, but like what Johnny Depp did to her. So you know how Jonathan Majors is
well,
getting like
she
possibly.
over exaggerated a lot of it.
I
though.
get that. Well, no, not really. But like,
Yes, really, absolutely.
you have to look up the Johnny Depp stuff then. Because
I basically watched that entire trial.
he would get drunk, he would beat the shit out of her. He like threw cooking pans at her and stuff like that. Like, it's crazy. It's all like third party accounts of it too. So it's not Johnny saying this, it's not Amber saying this. It's he
Well, right.
so
but if there was okay, but hold on though. If there was genuine proof of that, he wouldn't have won the trial though.
the trial was
They brought in everything.
it was defamation. It wasn't based
yeah, but
on
Amber
like,
Heard brought in
everything.
all of that stuff.
I get that. But what he was essentially suing for was that he was not the only abusive person. He was like, you saying that I was the only abusive person is slander. So, or defamation. So that's what he was fighting for, is to be like, you also abused me. And that was it. And that's why the trial is skewed more towards what she did to him, because that's what he was arguing. And when you go and look at the shit Johnny Depp did, like, Jonathan Majors is facing 5 years for 1/10 of what Johnny Depp did. Like,
well, the thing that also
Man,
helped
5
Johnny
years.
Depp is all of his exes going like, he was one of the greatest people I ever dated.
I mean, I'm sure it, but like, you can be a great person up until you're not, because once you're abusive, it's like, once you're a cheater, you're always a cheater. Once you're an abuser, you're always an abuser. Once you're a murderer, you're always a murderer. Once you hang on.
Skip some
hang on.
levels.
The murder aspect is the only thing I agree with in that sense, though.
You don't think once you're an abuser, you're always an abuser?
Not at all. It depends on the person you're with.
I don't know. I see that as unless you can fully atone for what you've done.
Because like he would have done similar things to his exes, but his exes
Not
never said
necessarily.
anything.
Not necessarily.
Absolutely. What do you mean?
No. I'm saying, like, you're not an abuser up until you are an abuser.
But that doesn't make you, because the same thing happened.
I'm not-
Similar thing
I'm not
happened
saying-
with Majors.
I'm not saying he would go do. Well, Majors had years and years and years and years of.
Yeah, but with that person, with the person that he was with during that trial, because he was with a completely new person.
Well, and the point of her being there, the Majors trial is hilarious because his lawyers are horrible. They lied constantly, and like, just straight up said there like wasn't evidence when the prosecution was like, we have this evidence right here.
It's in our hands.
And like, had him start like rounding up people that were like, yeah, he was always good, but then like all these directors, all these other actors were like, yeah, he was a nightmare all the time, like abusive towards like set extras, like really too into character sometimes. Like, it was all this. Pretty much everybody was like, yeah, he was just kind of an asshole.
It's not like
from
there
day one.
was a lot of ego there.
Yeah. But all in all, Disney does not look at Johnny Depp as like a solidified asset. And that's what I'm trying to bring back around. And that's why they're doing this spin-off that's still in the universe of Pirates, but like,
Right.
Well, also Disney's trying to be as safe as possible because, like, first of all, it's Disney.
it's like them canceling all the Marvel stuff that's risky now. That's
You're
what they're
right,
doing.
right.
All the stuff that was like, ooh,
They just want winners now.
they want just
Yeah.
winners for a little while, which I
Yeah.
think is smart. I think it's also stupid because that means we won't, the risks they took in phase 4 is the stuff that I like the most. It's the stuff they played safe with that I was like Ant-Man was way too safe.
What was the riskier projects for you?
Shang-Chi.
Okay, that's fair. I love that
Um,
one.
I thought Multiverse of Madness was a little bit of a risk. They still played it too safe.
But they just did dumb decisions.
They did some dumb decisions, but like, they still let like Sam Raimi kind of like put his
Some of his
style
thing.
on it,
Yeah.
which I thought was good. Like Wanda in the sewers, terrifying.
Yeah.
Wanda killing Professor X, terrifying. Like, all this stuff, like, they took some big risks, but not big enough risks. You don't like She-Hulk. I love She-Hulk. That was a risk for them.
I never finished it.
I'm pretty sure you're in the minority of liking She-Hulk as well.
Its audience score is pretty high for like Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, but the most things I saw about that, at
It's
least
the
what I saw,
very, very,
people
very vocal minority
hated
of
that.
people. It's
I
like,
don't think so.
it's like the people that
because okay, not everybody reviews shit anyway.
no.
So like,
Again, it's the
You're
people
still
that
seeing-
hate it the most. Most people were like, okay. That's how most people were on it. I
yeah,
guarantee
but that probably
you.
doesn't get you a high score.
No, it doesn't, but like, okay is like a 6 or a 5.
Yeah, but most of the things have been okay to people
I get that.
after Endgame.
People just took She-Hulk too seriously and they advertised it wrong. I took it
And-
as like it's a workplace comedy that just happens to have Marvel interjected into it.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is that it's a Marvel entity, but
Yeah.
they were like, let's heavily bring all these other characters that people already like into the show to hopefully gain more trust.
Well, the
Wasn't
idea
it just Hulk and Daredevil?
Hulk, Daredevil,
No.
Wong, and Abomination.
Oh no, that's
I think
right.
there was a
Abomination
few
was in it,
others
yeah.
too that just showed up for like a half second.
Not really. Not in that. Like, the last episode, I will agree, is a little silly. But, like, I took it as it was, and once I realized, like, oh, this isn't really tying into anything, I'm like, oh, it's just fun.
I think that's why I kind of dipped out of it. So it wasn't leading
No.
up to anything.
They should have advertised it like they did with, like, the Baby Groot show. It's just,
Well,
it's
they-
a weird...
They do even more defamation to Hulk himself though as well.
Marvel just has an issue with Hulk right now. They don't know how to balance him.
Pisses me off.
And that's a big issue. But, like, again, I don't think She-Hulk is bad, and I think anyone that says it's, like, downright trash is genuinely lying to themselves, because there's some funny jokes in there. There's some good comedy.
I did laugh.
It's not perfect.
Yeah.
It's not what I wanted, but I'm taking it as it is, and I'm like, oh, they took a risk here. It might not have worked out 100% of the time, but if you take it as what it is, you're like, okay.
But nobody's gonna do that. Very little people are gonna do that.
Yeah, because they're reactionary and they're stupid.
No, you can't call them stupid because of what we've already got from the MCU.
What does that mean?
You can't call them stupid for not liking the show that took a risk in a certain direction because of what we've already got from the MCU and loved.
I can call them stupid because they claim the show is like the people I'm calling stupid are the ones that are like, She-Hulk is made to hate on men constantly, and it's all like all that stuff.
Oh well, that's just being just being dramatic.
That's what I'm saying.
And I will agree with you. That is the most vocal crowd
Yep.
from the hate from that.
It's
show.
the same crowd that. It's like the crowd that calls Rey a Mary Sue in Star Wars.
Oh, that's new to me.
They're the same crowd. Like, you can hate, like, if you don't like the show because, like, you didn't think it was funny, you didn't like the story, you thought the acting was whatever, that's fine. Like, if you dislike it on the basis of, like, you didn't think it was a good show, fine. If your dislike of the show is because you thought it was, sexist towards men or whatever, it's a show about a woman Hulk. Of course there's going to be, like, feminist ideas in there. If you're going into that thinking, like, this is going to be a show for me, the man, like, no, it's not directly targeted at you.
Well, obviously, it's called She-Hulk.
I get that. But a lot of people went into that going, for some reason, thinking this is Marvel. There's not going to be any, like, women power stuff. When that's, like, I'd argue 50% of the reason the show was made. Because we don't get a lot of women superhero stuff ever. And the fact that she's a little in the comics, she's like, I mean, there is a woman Deadpool, but she is the woman Deadpool when Deadpool's not around.
Right.
And that's her thing. Because she looks ridiculous next to the Hulk, who looks, fucking massive, and then she's like, she's still, like, fit, but she doesn't look like hulky.
I will say that my biggest drawback to the show too was also A, it wasn't leading up to anything. B, that CGI was not great.
And that's
the
just
problem
means.
with most MCU stuff now is the CGI is absolute garbage.
Right. And I hope with, like, movies like Dune and Godzilla -1, that with these lower budgets they still made things look incredible.
I mean, Dune was still like 170 million.
That's also
true, but compared to fucking Secret Invasion,
Secret Invasion was 250 million.
That's due to the fact that the people who worked on that show are like, we want this show to look really, really good, and I think the people who worked on the MCU shows, that's just their job.
Either that, or just like just because it has, like, the Marvel name attached to it, there's like give them all that they need or want, and then they just fucking piss it away with nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see Ant-Man 3, but, like, just from the trailer, I'm like, that looked like it was a mess in itself.
No,
Ant-Man 3 wasn't that bad.
CGI wise, no.
Okay.
And people talk about, because I love the big head guy, MODOK.
He's funny. Yeah.
People were like, he looks horrible. Like the CGI is bad. I'm like, he's supposed to look
open
ridiculous.
any comic panel, he looks ridiculous.
He's the whole like. There's no way to adapt him properly that
No,
doesn't make
right.
him look ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the thing that I hate the most is you make him look ridiculous as much as he wants because they kept the tiny legs, they kept the tiny arms.
Yeah.
He looks hilarious, and I don't get why people hate him. I'm like, have a little fucking fun in your life.
Right.
Is the show still going on?
No, it got canceled.
It got scrapped.
The Hit Monkey show got renewed though, which I was surprised about.
Oh, really?
It's a monkey, and then a monkey possesses the body of a hitman. The hitman is played by Jason Sudeikis, and it's a cartoon,
I didn't know that.
and it's a rated R cartoon. And Jason Sudeikis dies, and then the monkey possesses his body, and so it's Jason Sudeikis' ghost in a monkey, and the monkey gets called Hit Monkey and goes around taking down people.
What?
Which, to be honest, it sounds.
And
It
wait,
is-
there's already a show about this?
It is,
Like, there's already a first season?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
awesome. It's
Oh, really?
awesome.
It
It's
is.
very mature.
It almost sounds like something that not should have been, but it sounds like if you had told me just that's what the plot of the show is, I would have thought it was an anime first.
It feels
Above
feels
all
that
else,
way.
yeah.
It feels that way.
I think that's what a lot of cartoons are leaning towards now, just because like anime is such a big thing.
At least not cartoons.
I mean,
I'd say animation.
Oh yeah,
They're going away from like the kiddie stuff, and a lot of it is like, yeah, it's animated, but we're for adults.
because even
We're
though,
for
'cause
men.
even, even though Invincible is like very gory in the comics and stuff, they still could have played it safe. And
I have watched a
dimmed it
couple of those
down.
episodes, by the way.
I don't have any spoilers in it, but I saw this one video about it. Is just like they had so much going for them after the first season, and
Well, they
the
just
first
didn't
part,
promote.
The
Yeah.
first part of season 2 is decent, but then they go, you can wait. You can wait for the next part of
Yeah,
season 2, and then all of the hype for it just completely died.
Yeah.
They
Very
didn't
quickly.
even go like, Invincible 2's coming back.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be crazy.
Nope.
You're gonna nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. They're like, oh yeah, by the way, that show that you liked, it's back now. How about that? Like that's
I
it.
found out about it the week after it came back.
Oh wow.
I had no idea it was coming back, and then I texted you, and I was like, "Oh, there's 2 episodes out."
Yeah, I'm caught up with it, and
I think it's
just,
pretty good.
Yes, it is good. It's still like a good show overall, but just the time you had to wait for like really not that much.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I don't mean to cut that short. We're a little bit over. So we do have to go watch our movie.
Mhm.
It was Rudy's movie this week, so you want to explain what you picked
Yep.
and a little
What it's about?
explanation.
Yeah. So for this week, I am picking
It's the seasoning.
Clerks. It's Kevin Smith's first movie, and the whole basis of the whole story of the film is literally just 2 clerks, and it's just like a day in their lives. And I picked this movie because I love the conversations that go into it. It's very relatable to someone who's just working that as their everyday job, but also like I don't want to say camaraderie, but like the bond you get when knowing like sometimes the people you work with is what makes the job fun for you, even at the end of the day when you're like, you might absolutely despise the job, and just kind of everything that comes along with it. It is a comedy at the end of the day.
What about at the beginning of the day?
At the throughout the whole day. It's
On weekends and holidays.
so yeah, that's
Where
why-
is it
that's why I
available?
picked it.
Paramount?
I believe it's streamable right now on Paramount.
'Kay.
Last I checked.
The bottom of the
Correct.
of the streaming.
Well, no. What was the one we found out about a few episodes ago? MGM.
Plus.
Yeah.
MGM Plus.
What the
Oh,
fuck?
I think eventually that's going to become Prime because Amazon bought MGM. So I think they're going to. But
Isn't there also like a Universal streaming platform?
not really, but kind of.
Right.
It's whatever.
There's too many.
Yeah, Universal is Peacock, technically.
Oh,
Technically speaking. Anyways. All right. So we're going to go watch this movie. We'll be back. It's only like an hour and 45 minutes. So if you need something to watch,
Go watch Clerks.
go watch Clerks. And then we'll be back and we'll talk about it.
Let's go watch a movie. Hey guys, this is Rudy from the Quackdown podcast. If you guys love electronic dance music, be sure to check out my own DJ radio show called Axiom Radio with Drebin. It's a 2-hour monthly radio show hosted by me. For the first hour, I play some of the best tunes that I found for the month and piece them together for a euphoric journey. The second hour, I pass the decks to a guest mix of the month where they finish off the journey however they please. So if you like trance, melodic house, or techno, check out Axiom Radio with Drebin on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast listening app. And be sure to give me a follow on Instagram at drebin.music to stay up to date on the show.
Hello, viewers and listeners, to the Quackdown Pod. This week's Quack Fact is that ducklings actually communicate to one another before they even hatch. To ensure all ducklings are going to be healthy and able to live throughout their young life as little ducklings, to survive to grow into mature ducks, to continue on the family that they have created. So, if you ever have a little science experiment and hear these little peeping sounds before they hatch, that is them making sure that they're all going to be strong and prepared for the world to come. Thank you for listening to this week's Quack Fact. Now, on to the movie review.
And we are back. Welcome back. We just finished watching Clerks. Yeah.
What was, well, let's do like we always do. Rating. Start with Tyler.
I am going to give it a 6.
Okay.
I think it's good, but it also, and I made this comment, I think, pretty early on, it does sound, or not sound, it feels like a college movie essay thing.
Totally.
That's, yeah.
I'm just curious, why did you turn on the subtitles? Was it for a genuine reaction? Because you didn't take them off, which I appreciate, but like, why?
Just wait for him to show you. He'll show you. He'll let you know what the inside is. There you go.
Oh.
And silently, he just reads the message, and then I see him go, "Oh, okay." And then he he like goes to the app and then turns on the subtitles.
And then we'll get into this later. The way you held your pizza, bro.
Okay.
No.
It's not
no, we're
crazy.
gonna get there. No, we'll get to later. I will
It's
bring it back
not
up.
crazy.
I'll bring it back up. Your rating.
I concur with the 6. That's what
Yeah?
I was gonna say. Yes.
Okay, that's fair. I think personally, I give it a 7. I think it's a good movie, but like you said, it does have like that college feel. It's first film, low budget, and with the amount of times that I have seen it, it's like one of those just like I really love this movie. It's not like
Well, that's also why I would give it a 6 as well, is because if it was made by like an actual like
Talented.
production
not talented.
thing. Like,
damn.
if it was made by an actual production company or something, I would give it a lower score. But the fact that it was made by Kevin Smith right out of college, I was like, wow, like this is like a genuine, because also Clerks has sort of a cult following with it as well. So the fact that it was made by Kevin Smith right out of college, like that's ballsy.
Yeah.
That he made a decent movie right out of college that gained a huge following and stuff, even if it was black and white for his own financial reasons. Like, it's a decent movie. It has some really good laughs. It has a decent storyline as well attached to it. It's not too random or anything like that. Yeah, it's pretty good.
And I know I said this before, but one of the things I like about the movie are like the random conversations, like the independent contractors on the Death Star, like political gains. or even just the 37 dicks.
The dude at the beginning, where whoever comes in and goes, "Can I buy a pack of cigarettes?" and he goes,
Oh,
"Are you sure?"
Julie's gum guy.
He goes, "Are you sure?" He goes, "Yeah, why?" And he just brings out a lund, and he's like, "This is what your lund probably looks like."
The other reason I like it too is like I like the bits when they go on about hating certain customers. Like I know, like, because I wanted to ask you, like, in your times at like Best Buy or even Apple, but I imagine you have more stories at like Best Buy. What were some of the customers that you just couldn't stand, or customers that you got all the time, or stupid questions even? Because I know you have a few.
I really didn't care about like stupid questions, really, because like there are no stupid questions. It's just people trying
False.
to like. No, there aren't, because it's people trying like in their best way to fill in gaps in their own knowledge. So however they can articulate that.
I'm with you on that one.
They're stupid questions, but they're not like whatever. Like at Best Buy, if somebody comes in and they're asking about something, we knew everything, quote unquote, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're gonna ask a question, to me it might seem stupid, but to them it's like they don't know about that stuff. Like it might be genuinely new technology to them.
Sure.
So stupid questions, never an issue. It's the late returns, which happens everywhere. You know, I spend thousands of dollars here. Why can't I get my money back on this $35 light?
That was a
3 years
legitimate
ago?
argument for him?
Always. It's always, do you know how much money I spent here? Blah, blah, blah. You're going to lose me. It's just, it's everywhere. It's not just a Best Buy thing. That's just standard. I don't know. The other ones were just like the people that you knew were doing something sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
But like you didn't have any proof, but you knew.
Yeah.
And it was like people that would buy stuff and then return it on the last day of their like policy every single time.
Sus.
With big ticket items like, you know, a Samsung tablet that's $900.
Yeah.
An iPad, and they'd return on the last day, and then they'd buy a brand new one, and they do it again and again. And I'm like, what are you doing? What's the goal here?
A lot of people do that with those like mattress companies that like send you a mattress like in a box.
Oh, the like
and
90
they go
days
like
sleep.
Yeah, on like the last week of their
trial.
Yeah, they go, you know what, this mattress actually isn't for me, and this and that, and they get their money back, and then they just go to a different site, buy a new mattress.
Is that illegal at all, or no? That's
if
just
it,
unethical.
It's in their terms and conditions.
Yeah,
It's
but
definitely
you're just
unethical.
abusing
That's
company
it.
policy.
It's frowned upon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying go and steal from these mattress companies, because I hear they're suffering right now because of the hammock industry.
I heard they were a snitch.
I want to see a Succession style show, but about like the dumbest company ever. But I want them to play it straight.
Mattresses.
Yeah, just like Mattress Firm. And it's full or like purple. Just pick like a random company and
Tempur-Pedic.
Have you heard about that weird theory about Mattress Firm and stuff like that? You ever heard about that? Yeah,
No.
because there's so many of the. Go ahead.
So I'm going to hate myself for this, but I remember, and I hate the word theory because theory is something that's proven through science. Anyway.
Well, an idea that can be
Yeah.
proven through. Yeah.
You remember that teacher that like made us do presentations? Anytime somebody
All of
said
them?
theory, she was like, do not say theory. You don't mean theory. And now I have like PTSD.
I don't remember this.
Which one was that?
Remember we were talking about in the last episode or the episode before that?
H?
No,
K.
this was college.
Oh.
Oh.
When
How
I
are
had
we
to do
supposed to
like
know?
presentations in my science class and like you'd get picked at the beginning of the semester and I wore the bright blue
Oh.
flamingo suit.
Yeah. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, because the theory is like a scientifically proven thing, like the theory of gravity or whatever. And so she hates when people say it's just a theory because, like, yeah, then it's proven. Anyway, Sorry.
Mattress theory.
It's
So-
like
complete-
string theory.
So like the majority of people buy a mattress and they have it for like at least 5-something years or something like that, you know.
yeah.
And this theory like got a lot of growth in the past few years. Is like, well, usually people have their mattress for like a couple years, a good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So why are all these brick and mortar stores have all these mattresses and stuff? So people, it's a very like kind of basic theory. They think that like the Mattress Firm and Mattress King stores are like just fronts.
Laundering?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, because like
Well,
they
there's
go.
no way those mattresses cost that much to make compared to what they sell them for.
Well, yes, but also not like when I was buying a mattress in Arizona, when I was moving places and trying to get a new mattress, more often than not, I would go to a mattress store and literally like across the street would be a completely different mattress store.
yeah.
And like, yeah, but then you go, how are all these mattress stores still in business,
Couldn't the same thing
doing
be
fine?
argued for like appliances?
Like a Home Depot and a Lowe's?
No.
like-
Like you go into Best Buy, there's that section of appliances. Who needs that section of appliances? Like
Oh.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
buy a fridge every year.
Yeah, but fridges and stuff come out. New fridges and appliances come out like almost every single year. You can't really do
How
that
well can
much,
you update a mattress?
that much innovation in mattresses.
I've seen some cool mattress technology.
There's one. There's one that I
Don't say
really
its name.
like.
Don't say its name.
I can't even remember what the name of it is, but
Thank
like
you. Good.
I
Good cover.
kind of sleep like on my stomach and I've like one of my arms stretched out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's one mattress that has these like cutouts.
So you can
like,
stick your
the
arm
head.
in it.
Yes.
I do want to try those.
I want one of those mattresses so bad.
Yeah, okay, no. I get the hype. I get the excitement. I do want to
Yes.
try those.
One of those is so cool.
Yeah.
Because you could just stick your arm in like this little slot and it'll just stay there and you
Yep.
don't have to tweak your body in a way and stuff where you're like sore the next morning.
I've seen those for like pregnant women, right? So they can lay on their stomach when they're pregnant.
I haven't seen. I don't know.
The video I
I've seen
saw
of
where it
them
was
digging
like
at the beach.
Uh,
And
Well,
they,
that makes.
yeah.
That's okay.
just saying, so you can lay on your side. You're talking about your arm. What about like the big fucking boom?
Yeah, I guess.
I saw it used in a video where it was like, you know, if you want to like cuddle with your girl or something and your arm doesn't get tired, you can just have it like in that slit
Yeah.
and your arm won't fall asleep. I'm like, that's genius.
Just cut
I'm
off
gonna
your
try
arm.
that. Yeah, gold. Where's the profit then?
You know who's got to be the best cuddler?
What? What?
Say it.
Anakin Skywalker. After the end of Revenge of the Sith, the man has no limbs. Oh my God. You could replace all of his limbs with pillows.
He might have that. He might have that as just attachments.
That's how he goes to bed. He takes off his helmet. It's
Feathers. It's not steam, it's feathers coming out.
He's got a memory foam helmet that he puts on.
I wanted to, what?
I was just saying, there's like I forget what company it is, but they have like a travel like sweatsuit or something that has like all these cool pockets that you can carry all your stuff that you don't want to put in your bags, and in the hood there's like this thing that you could like pop out and then like inflate a little like pillow that's built into the hood. So that like once you get on the plane, you can inflate it, and then
it
you have
just-
your own personal like pillow.
Oh, I would so buy those.
Yeah, they're really cool. I think they're really expensive for whatever reason. They're like $300 or something for like
Jesus.
this sweatsuit. It's like a onesie too. It's not even like a sweatshirt and like pants. It's a whole onesie
Oh my God.
that you could put on.
Maybe I wouldn't. I don't know if I'd wear a onesie. So going back to stupid questions, Tyler.
You're telling me you wouldn't wear a onesie? Ever?
I've never worn one.
Well, this one's functional.
Have you seen the ducky onesies? Where the hood, you put the hood on and it's got the bill right here and the big fucking eyes.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Are we about to
What?
have a sleepover themed podcast episode?
No.
Pillows.
No, I was just thinking, I saw that the other day and I was going to send that to you and I was going to say, hey, you should wear this just like unannounced on the podcast one day.
He's just right here. The ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, continue.
Going back to stupid questions with customers, I remember I had this. So you guys know I work at a restaurant.
No, I didn't.
There's this one old lady that came in one time and was asking questions about our menu. And eventually I took her order and she was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to have the smoked chicken quesadilla, but can I get that without the cheese? I want to explain. I don't need I don't need to explain this, but our preparation for this already. It's an open face quesadilla, one single tortilla, cheese, diced chicken, and tomatoes. That's it. That's it. Removing the cheese, and it looks like the saddest fucking plate of food I have ever charged someone $9 for. And I brought it out. I ran it out to her, and my coworker's like, did someone order that? Like, where's the cheese? I'm like, she didn't want any cheese. And they're just like, that's ridiculous. I ran it out to her. I'm like, it hurt my soul. I'm like, how does everything look? She's like, this looks fantastic. Thank you. I'm like, this looks awful.
She
This
got a
looks
grilled
bad.
chicken dia.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
In a sense, yes. That's not a quesadilla at that point.
There have been like stupid substitutions, or like one thing I hate, and I know this is like taking like some social media by storm, but when people ask for like a cocktail or something, they're like light ice, assuming that they'll get like more booze.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Mm-mm.
A cocktail is going to be made with 3 ounces of liquid, no matter what the ingredients are. They're not going to fill the rest of the cup with like mixer or whatever else is in it just because there's like light ice. I had this lady last week, and 2 ladies, they each had margaritas, and one was like slightly like wasn't as filled. And if it's not, we'll literally just add more ice to make it look like it's full. I didn't do that. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just going to drop them. And I dropped them off, and one lady was just like, hey, mine doesn't look very full. What?
When you said, fuck it, I'm just going to drop them, I just pictured you. Here's what I think about your light ice.
I dropped them off, and she's like, hey, my margarita doesn't look very full. And I'm at the point where like I'm so sick of explaining this to people. I'm just like, ma'am, I can assure you that is 3 ounces of booze. And she was like, are you sure? It's 3 ounces. And I walked away. And she still made like some like big ordeal. But I was like, I don't think my drink was very full. I'm like, man, I can bring you my manager if you want. That's completely fine. Would you like to talk to my manager? She's like, no, that's okay. I'm like, that's what I thought. You have your proper amount of alcohol. Do you want another drink? I'll get you another drink. Not for free. You gotta pay for it. But I hate, and I understand I'm in the service of hospitality, but I can't be that hospitable anymore. It's so draining. Like earlier we were talking about the Bear and how hospitable that restaurant was where he did that stage. It's crazy to me. And as like a guest, not a customer, a guest in that restaurant, it's got to feel so good. I can't be at that level ever.
Yeah.
Because some places will have that saying of like, the customer's always right. Fuck that. I don't believe that for a second at any establishment. I'd be like Mr. Krabs, who had it like in the fine print, like full refunds will be given.
Wasn't that saying introduced just for like only restaurants, and then they kind of adopted it and cut off the customer's always right about the taste, but then they chopped off the about the taste and just turned it into the customer's always right?
Oh, I don't know. I always heard of it as just they're always right. That's it.
That's what the customer lobby did to us.
That's some bullshit. I hate everything about that.
The customer lobby?
Also,
Well,
some of those customers take advantage of that saying.
exactly.
Mm.
Like the lady that sued McDonald's because she like burned herself with the coffee. I'm like, it's hot.
Oh, I remember that.
And
yeah.
1 million's on the lawsuit because now
Yeah.
McDonald's like, warning, contents must be hot. Like
Yeah.
I hate that people like that get rewarded.
That lady was on Agents of Shield.
I hate this.
Oh.
When we were watching the movie and there's that part where they're talking about Caitlin Bree and how she was like, it's like Randall was talking to him. It's just like, you're going nuts over some girl you haven't like seen since high school. And I just told this story to a couple coworkers this week, and I think I've told at least one of you this story. The one like relationship I had in high school, like my freshman year. Obviously, I'm not gonna say no names, but it lasted like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 months. And at the end of it, I was just like for whatever reason, I'm like 14. I was like, like I'm not really feeling this anymore. And she was out of town. It was like a Friday. School just got out, and she obviously wasn't there. And so I sent her like this text, essentially like a breakup text. Like, like I'm not really feeling this anymore. Like we can still be friends or whatever. Yada yada.
You broke up with her while she was on vacation?
It gets worse. And so I'm walking home from school, and I don't get a response from her for like 10 minutes, and I start to like freak out. I'm like, fuck, like what if she's like what if she's mad, what if she's upset, like what if she's crying, like whatever. And so I sent her another text like, hey, like if you want to call or something, if you want to talk, like please do, just let me know when you get this or call me back, whatever. And then I'm like halfway home at this point, and I finally get a text from her, and all the text says is, there's been an explosion. And I'm just like, what? I'm like so beyond baffled. I'm like, what do you mean there's been an explosion? I sent that text like, what do you mean? What's going on? And I finally get home. I'm freaking out. I'm like, what do you mean there's been an explosion? I get home, and my dad is in the living room watching TV, and he's like, hey, did you see the news? There's been an explosion. Y'all, you're laughing now. It's not.
I get it. It's just a funny.
And I'm just like, what? What fucking explosion? So, the trip that she was on with her parents is her dad would often go out of state to compete in marathons. And that weekend, they were in Boston.
Why? This is such a fucked up story. Why are you bringing this up? I was having a good time. What the hell, man? You're sitting here, you're like, yeah, you remember talking about his ex-girlfriend. Yeah, the Boston bombing? Love. Just connect the two. You know that scene where he's talking about how this girl he hasn't seen in a while? How about that?
Yeah, let me tell you about my high school girlfriend experience. Yeah, it was the Boston Marathon. And I'm watching like the footage and the countless replays of it happening like on TV, and I am like losing my mind. I'm like, did I really just and I haven't gotten like any response other than that. I'm just like, and I'm like calling her. I'm like trying to text her. I'm like, are you okay? Like, obviously it was just her dad competing. Like, is your dad okay? Like, what's going on? And I got home that day feeling like the biggest piece of shit. In retrospect now, he's fine. He's good. He wasn't injured. He was, however, like a block or two away when it happened. But he's good. When I worked at the grocery store, he would come by all the time. He would say hi. He knows damn well what happened that day from me. Biggest, I don't think I've ever felt like a bigger piece of shit than that moment. But we laugh about it now.
Do we?
Her and I.
Hey, remember the Boston bombing? What a knee slapper. Huh?
Well, I told that story to one coworker, and then she comes back the next day and she's like, Rudy, you got to tell him the story. You got to talk about the bombings. I'm like, you can't just say that casually.
It's going to get you arrested in an airport.
Phone's already tapped in. They're listening right now. They're outside the window. Pull those curtains. It's just a squad of cops outside the window.
All on ladders because we're on the second floor.
Hey, you know who's licensed for the ladder?
This guy.
Oh,
OSHA certified.
I am OSHA certified. Yes,
Yeah.
that is
Only one here.
that is true.
He installed all these vines. These are real vines.
Can I see it? I know you showed it to
Oh,
us, but I
yeah.
didn't really look at it. I want to see how official this is. Does it have your picture on it?
No, it has my name and stuff on it though.
You should just like paste a picture of your face on there.
Gosh darn it.
Really deep in there. You should have that quicker access.
Dude, any sensitive information? I'll just keep it right here.
Are you gonna show it to the camera?
It's up to him.
I don't think it really has any.
Just your
Does
full
this
social and
does-
every credit card number you've ever had.
Does this expire?
No.
So forever, they just assume you're following the rules.
Yeah. Because like the rules don't necessarily change that much.
I thought you were gonna say
They
they
only-
don't apply to me.
They only really change if like
I'm good.
there's been a whole bunch of incidents about like a certain type of safety issue on job sites, and that's when like they'll update like the rules or something. Because like the one thing that's really changed over the years prominently is like the height that you ever seen those guys on the lifts that like you can drive around and they raise up.
Yeah.
So there's a certain height that you have to be on those lifts to tie off. So like they'll wear like these harnesses, and then over a certain height you have to like clip into this harness so that if you fall you can save yourself. And I think the height is literally like 6 feet now, and it used to not be that, but like this dude fell off, hit his head, died. And like you could basically do that from any height,
Yeah.
really, if you smack your head in the right
It
orientation.
happened in this movie. In a
It
sense.
did?
Adjacent to the skull.
When?
What's adjacent to the skull?
Well, what bones are adjacent to your skull?
The skull?
Okay, but you can't be adjacent.
Are you talking about?
Him breaking his neck.
Oh,
Continue. God
well,
damn.
yeah.
Oh,
so
Mike!
like
Balls resting on his leg.
that's one of the biggest things that's changed over time is the amount of height that you have to be to tie off. And like that's one of the big things like construction sites get like ticketed for, in a sense, is like if some person's not tying off, you get a citation for the job site if they're not practicing safe exercises for whatever needs to be safe in a job site. And like that kind of surprised me because like when I was going through the class, they were like, well, what height would you deem necessary to tie off? And everybody was usually like 15 feet, 20 feet. And she was like 6.
Wow.
And everybody was like, oh, darn. And then
Ah, jeez. We've been going
like-
way over there.
it doesn't sound that much, but like if you fall and snap your neck or hit your head, then like a lawsuit can come about and stuff like that. So it's just about being as safe as you can on a job site, and that's why OSHA is like a thing. And that's why at least the school that I went to, you have to go through this class to get OSHA certified because it's just an extra thing to put on your resume, being like you've already taken this class and you already know how to be safe on a job site and stuff like that. Like shoring, like when people did ditches and stuff to lay like new electrical line or a new sewer or something, a certain depth, you have to have like these walls to keep the earth from caving in. And if you're just in there without this shoring, which is just these walls that you put in so that the earth doesn't cave in, like you get cited for that and stuff. There's a whole bunch of different things that most people would find very minuscule and like, well, if he's only down there for a certain amount of time, like, is it that big of a deal? And it's like, well, yeah, because there's a bunch of different examples of people getting hurt, killed, and all this stuff. So like, just knowing all these little things, yeah, it might be annoying for the person doing it, but like, it's way better to be safe than sorry later. So, I mean, I don't know. Being OSHA certified it's a pain in a sense, just because you have to sit through this class and have to get a certain amount of hours, because there's like 10-hour OSHA certification, 30-hour. I think I have the 30-hour one, and then like there's multiple different levels of OSHA certification. And this was one of the classes. Again, this is not a like advice, but you have to show up for every single hour of the OSHA certification that you're applying for to get the certification, because if you miss an hour, you either have to take that later or else you won't be certified.
Oh, shit.
And so, like, the class that I went to, she was very prominent in being like, you have to be here. If you're not here, I cannot pass you because you don't technically have the certification. And so, I don't know. That's why I have the card in my wallet at all times.
I was there.
Just, yeah.
All right. Well, that's got to cap off episode 6 for us. We are approaching the mark. I try to stop us around.
Oh, yeah. You trying to think of a new...
Trying to think of a new one.
Yeah, okay. What did we do last week? I kind of liked last week. Oh, we did a movie quote and we just filled
Yes.
in with...
Yes. I don't know. If you got one...
Thanos?
God. Give me your best...
Give
me your best Daffy Duck.
Oh, hell no. Not ever.
I can't do that.
No. Are you about to spit? That's what that sounded like. No. No, two different one. What if
Fernando?
I just have a very small thing to say.
God damn.
It's that the park that's by my house, if it rains really heavily, gets flooded in a certain area.
Yeah.
And just in this small area, I saw 2 ducks in. And it's a very small, like, the flooded area becomes like a little pond. And I saw these 2 ducks and I go, see? Ponds.
All right, I got it.
all right.
You said park. You said duck. You're a duck going down a slide.
Okay.
That's it.
What?
Make the sounds you would make going down a slide as a duck.
I have wings.
Yeah, but you're going down a slide.
Okay.
Do mine.
Do yours.
So picture the slide, okay? It's one of these slides that goes like this on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Quack. 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 Little
That does not sound like you're going down a slide, bro.
duck could be doing whatever you want it to be doing. Rudy. If your mind's going there, your mind's going there.
Why did you move like that?
I told you the slide is like this. It's like the childhood slide I always went down.
Okay, you want to go next?
Maybe we skip Rudy. If
Sure.
could be a water slide too.
What?
Wait, that's what I assumed it was.
No,
it's just a regular
This
slide.
is a regular slide.
How are you going like this?
You know that? You know the neighborhood my parents live in?
Yeah,
You know that park that's right there?
yeah.
Do you remember those slides that used to be there?
No.
Oh, okay. Guys.
All right then. All right then. He's approaching the slide. What? What? Okay. What? What? Where?
Danny DeVito's penguin leaving the room. All right, Rudy.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Quack. Quack, quack, quack. 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 All right, quack.
Looking both ways before you go down the slide.
Quack. And that's it.
Did he die? What?
It was his final
He
slide.
got too excited before going down the slide.
Was that him after the slide and he was disappointed in the...
Open to interpretation.
All right. Thanks for listening to this week's Quackdown.
Oh my god.
We will see you next week for our next one.
Yep.
Deuces.
Deuce, you
Goodbye.
son of a bitch.